All right, so it's about 10 p.m. on a Monday. I just finished up a lift. I'm now doing upper lower rest, push pull legs rest. So I just finished my upper day. Was pretty solid, and I want to start being more consistent with posting on YouTube because I know there's so many other 19-year-olds, so many other people out there just like me, and I think it'd be nice to have someone speak with the same mindset as me, because there's not many people out there anymore who actually want to make shit happen. Everyone wants to talk about success, like everything. People love to talk, but when it comes to actually doing it, when it comes to being lonely as fuck, when it comes to really trying to figure this shit out, when it comes to having that real risk in your face that, like, if you don't make shit happen, bro, like, you wasted your fucking life. Like, I would feel it every day freshman year of college. I'd be like on my own shit, I wouldn't be hanging out with anybody, and I was scared as fuck because I was like, if I don't make this shit work out, it's gonna be a waste, bro. I wasted everything, right? I didn't party. I met no friends, right? I had nobody around me. So it was like, if I didn't make something happen, bro, everyone's gonna be laughing at me because, like, I sacrificed everything and I got nothing, right? And that's the risk. I want to say that is what taking the risk is. So this is essentially going to be a video about, what taking the risk was to me, what it can be to you. Because everyone always says, take the risk. And it's hard to understand what taking the risk actually means, right? So I'm going to tell you, throughout this video, what taking the risk meant to me and how it kind of changed the person I am. So, going back to high school, I was like a pretty normal kid. I played football, I played quarterback. I enjoyed it, obviously. But I will say that my senior year, it really flipped a switch in me, having coaches for so long, that I didn't want to work for anybody else ever again. I didn't want to be under somebody else ever again, be at the mercy of a coach, an employer, anybody like that, right? Because at the end of the day, the decision to put me on the field, the decision to, fire you in general, like, it's not with you if that's your life, right? If you're not making money for yourself, if you're not doing things for yourself, then ultimately you don't decide your own fate. And that is something that I hated, right? If I fucked up, my coach could just take me out, right? And it's like, it doesn't feel right that you put in so much work into something and then some other grown man has just complete control over the outcome. So I hated that shit. So after football season, I basically, dropped my whole identity, right? I kind of lowered myself down to bring myself up later, if that makes sense. Instead of trying to maintain any status that I had in high school, I just let it all go out the window, right? I completely disregarded anything that I built up. I still love all my day one friends and everything, but I stopped hanging out with them because I had a vision for better. I had a vision of what I wanted to do since I was probably 15 or 16 years old. I mean, I started my first TikTok when I was 14. Obviously tried like the whole clothing brand thing. I tried dropshipping. I tried all that stuff. Nothing worked out until I found AI. Trading a little bit, but it just wasn't going to be the thing for me long term because it was just too unpredictable for me. But there's definitely money in that too. But AI for me was just the most consistent, the best actual business model. I like to build things, right? I don't want to, just wake up and go on the charts every day and never build something that I can actually call my own. So that's why, I went more towards the businesses or the business that I can start my own agency, if that kind of makes sense. But again, I dropped every ounce of status I had because I realized that high school status is fake, right? Now, college status is fake too. I have two older brothers. One of them had a lot of status in college, right? It's like you're in a fraternity. You feel like the guy when you're in college. But let me tell you, as soon as college is over, you're not the guy anymore, okay? As soon as you get to the real world, people don't value that the fact that you're frat prez. They value how much money you have, right? They value how in shape you are. They value how much influence you have, how many followers you have. And this is real world shit, right? I mean, like, maybe not the follower thing, but how much money you have, what you look like, physical presence, all those things matter. And I hate to break it to you, but if you spend 4 years drinking in college, your physical presence isn't going to be great. Your hormones are probably going to be shot. You probably ate like shit. and you probably have no money. So it's not a very good thing for your real world status. But I decided that, in high school, I spent 4 years trying to build up my status. In a sense, I was trying to be successful in my high school, trying to be the best football player I can be, trying to get the best grades that I could get, mainly because, that's what everyone else around me was doing. That's what success was to everybody around me. So I was like, there's got to be something to this shit, right? Wrong. Okay. So there was nothing to it. I mean, I got into a pretty good school. Great. Whatever. But it doesn't align with what I want to do in life, right? So I decided that when I got to college, I was going to skip out the whole trying to build my college identity, because I tried building my high school identity. I ended up dropping it anyways, because then I was able to go pick myself back up and actually build myself up further. But before I got to college, I dropped my status before it even started. I decided I wasn't going to let anyone in my circle who didn't have somewhat similar of a mindset to me. I wasn't really going to go out and try to, find friends, I wasn't going to be going out trying to crack all the hoes that I could crack, right? I was like in my dorm pretty much 8 hours a day, just locked in, gym, went to MMA. I went to MMA a lot, especially when I wasn't making as much money. I was like always in the MMA gym because I'm just the type of person that I need to do something, right? It's like, if I'm not able to make money, okay, I need to go train. I need to go get my fucking black belt in jiu-jitsu. I need to go to Muay Thai. I need to go to kickboxing, whatever, right? MMA. I had to do that. So I was there, 4 or 5 days a week, as I was just doing so much research into how people are actually making this stuff happen with this online money. I'm sure you're just like me. You're sick of opening your phone. You're seeing another 19-year-old kid making $30K a month, right? I posted a YouTube video too, my first YouTube video. You can look at it, where I was like, I'm 19 trying to figure shit out. Now I'm 19 and I definitely don't have it figured out by any means, but I've touched $30,000 months, right? And not many 19-year-olds can say that. I drive the car that was in my college dorm. I had 3 things on my vision board, right? I had this car. I had Miami high rise. And then I also had a Porsche GT3 Miami Blue. So this was my main dream car, the M4. And after all the work that I put in, in college that first year, I didn't get many results, right? I said before, I maybe made like 15K the whole school year, bro. And that's all I focused on. Like, people were trolling me. They're like, dude, how is money your like only thing that you're trying to do? Well, it wasn't, right? I was also doing MMA. I was also doing school, all this other stuff. But it was my main thing. And it wasn't really working out for me. But you know what? That's kind of male life, bro. I mean, sometimes shit doesn't work out for like a year. Sometimes it doesn't work out for 5 years, 10 years. And then all of a sudden shit clicks, bro. And your life's fucking amazing. All of a sudden you've been working for 5 years on that business. Nothing happened. You're an everyday hustler. And then all of a sudden everything just starts to click, bro. Like, you get this big deal. Maybe you get that one TikTok that pops off. Maybe like you talk to 100 girls and that one girl like actually doesn't reject you, and now you got your bad bitch, right? It's just a numbers game of me putting in the work until finally it started to work out a little bit. And that's just how it goes, bro. So if you think that like you're wasting time because you're trying all this shit, nothing's working, you made a little bit of money, now you're not making any more, and you're like, fuck, everyone's getting ahead of me, right? Oh, I made this, but I'm not consistent. I touched a 10K month, but I haven't touched it again. Guess what, bro? Like, that's gonna fucking happen. It's just part of the process. And if you haven't made any money, that's part of the process too, bro. Like, the biggest misconception is you see all these people on social media who half of them are lying, and then fucking the other half, like, they didn't put in the work that you're putting in right now. Or there's a lot of fucking people on social media who failed for years behind the scenes, right? Like, I mean, in a few years, there's gonna be a lot more people who know who I am. They didn't know my freshman year I didn't do shit. They didn't know like that I started my first TikTok at 14 and it flopped. They didn't know that I posted on it every day. They didn't know that I posted every day freshman year. I got like 8K followers on TikTok, and I just like, I don't know. I did trading for 2 years and I only got a few payouts, right? Like, they didn't know that, bro. They didn't know what went into this shit. They didn't know the systems that I built on Notion to optimize my fucking life, bro, my daily habits. They didn't know that I moved to the middle of nowhere in Southern California to do door-to-door sales. And, like, I realized that maybe if I took this door-to-door mindset and put it to fucking selling AI, then I'd be successful as fuck. And that's what happened, right? So it took all these different things. They didn't know that I went to Texas. I knocked 158 doors in one day and I didn't get a single sale. And I still didn't give up on this money shit, you know? I still didn't give up. And that's just what it takes, bro. Like, you got to keep knocking at the door. You got to keep going. And the thing is, you have to fully take that risk of like, this shit might not work out, but at the end of the day, at least I'm going to come out knowing who the fuck I am, right? And that's the whole point of life. It's not about the money, bro. You can't take the dream car to bed with you. You know, when you lie down in your bed, bro, like, it's the same as every other guy in the world. It doesn't matter how much money they have. It doesn't matter if they got the baddest bitch next to them, bro. When you lay down, it's just you, your thoughts, you know, what you did. Did you get better today? Is literally it. So if you want to take the risk is missing out on the college experience, right? That shit's for women anyways, bro. If you drink all the time and you don't work on yourself, if you're in the same place as a shit ton of women, bro, you're probably in the wrong place. You're probably not doing the right thing, because guess what? They go out and party, they can find a man, right? They can find a man that can save them. Dude, you're not going to find, I mean, unless you're gay, you're not going to find a man who's going to save you, right? So you're out there for no fucking reason other than to chase women, chase these bitches that are probably chasing some guy who's actually working on himself and actually got shit figured out, who's probably 5 years older than you, and he worked for those years while he was in college. So, and now he's got his life set up for him, right? So taking the risk is missing out on everything, bro. Missing out on playing college sports, maybe, if you wanted to. I mean, unless you're going to the NFL, bro, is it worth it? Probably not, right? So it's, and I wanted to maybe play football in college too, and I didn't, because, you know, I took the risk on my business, I took the risk on myself, on my personal brand, and it's working out. It's been working out so far. I got something to show for it, you know, in my car. I'm going to be getting my first investment property soon, and it's fucking exciting, bro, because I put in so much work, and, you know, seeing it come to fruition is really the best feeling. But taking the risk, bro, it's not wagering all the money you have on some 50x meme coin trade, bro. That's not taking the risk. It's not, you know, sliming out like everybody you've ever known. That's not taking the risk, bro. Taking the risk is just going against the grain. Taking the risk is not doing what everyone else does. Taking a risk is sprinting, bro. Like, you're sprinting and you don't know how far you're gonna have to go, right? You don't even know if there's an end destination, but it's just having the mindset that I either fucking make it out, bro, I make hella money, I do everything I want to do, I'm in the best shape of my life, you know, like black belt in jiu-jitsu, I did everything that I wanted to do. Or you get lost in the process, bro, and the worst case scenario, the whole point of life anyways, is to just come out of it knowing yourself, bro. Like, who are you when shit gets hard? And you're gonna figure that out if you take this path. So that's what taking the risk is, bro. I mean, it's a win-win. You either learn a shit ton about yourself, or you accomplish everything that you've ever wanted to fucking accomplish. And I promise you, for me, I'm gonna do both. And it's just up to you. You know, are you willing to run without knowing the distance? Are you willing to take the risk, miss out on every possible experience around you that you're supposed to experience, and put that shit aside for the greater good, to understand yourself, you know, for every person that's came before you in your bloodline to actually add to it? You're gonna have to take the risk, bro. But yeah, that's it, boys. I hope you have a good rest of your week. Gonna get this uploaded. Peace out.